Good afternoon, ISU student athletes. Hey, my name is Scott Renfro. I work in the compliance office here at Illinois State. Um, we are so bummed that we don't get to meet with you guys face to face here to start out the school year. We look forward to that every year. But given where things are, we want to be safe. And so we've decided to record our Rules Ed session for you. On the line with me is Travis Johnston.
How's everybody doing?
And so we are going to run down some of the rules education that we do with you guys every year. I'm going to kick things off by talking about extra benefits. So this is the number one thing that we touch on every year with you guys, right? And I know everyone knows the term extra benefits, but what does it mean? So extra benefits is the most commonly violated NCAA rule. And like I said, we need to know what it means in order to be better student athletes and avoid issues. So an extra benefit, according to the NCAA, is any benefit that someone provides you because of your reputation here as an athlete at Illinois State. In general, those are going to be things that are not available to the general public. So that's the key, is that someone is going above and beyond what's publicly available, again, because they know that you're an athlete here at Illinois State. And you don't have to be wearing a jersey or a Letterman's jacket or your ISU gear for something to be an extra benefit. Our fans in the community here, they know who you are, and they may offer to do something for you just because they know you're an athlete, that you don't need to be wearing the gear. To break it down a little further, on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see those things are extra benefits. Those are things that you guys cannot accept. And then on the right-hand side, those things that are listed are okay to accept because they're available either to the entire student body or an entire group of people in the public. So again, on the left-hand side, we've got items where someone is doing something for you that's not publicly available, right? So if anytime a booster offers to give you something, we need your radars to be on, and for you guys to either check with your coaches or come see us in the compliance office. We would much rather you guys check with us ahead of time than to find out after the fact something happened and then we need to report a violation. There's a whole process we go through where you sit out from practice and competition. It's not a lot of fun. So again, on the left-hand side, you'll see some of those things are tangible. You can pick them up and hold them. Others, like a ride to the airport, that can be an extra benefit too, even though that's not a tangible item that you can pick up and hold. And then just to differentiate one last time, on the right-hand side, so that first one, the key there is that the promotional item is available to any student at Illinois State. If it's something that's available to any student at Illinois State, you guys can accept it. It doesn't involve us. It doesn't put yourself at risk with us at all. So a lot of times if they're giving out things at the Union or the Bone or the library, and they're handing out items that are available to everyone, you guys are all good. Same thing if it's a handout, a giveaway at an athletic event, or if you're going to an event on campus and they have food for everyone in attendance. Those things don't cross into our world. It's the things on the left-hand side. And again, what we would ask you to do is check with us in advance, ask your coach. Again, we would rather take the question than deal with the whole process after the fact. So that's extra benefits. Again, most commonly violated rule, we have a couple cases per year where someone accepts an extra benefit. We know it happens and we'll deal with it, but we would love, again, for you guys to check in advance. All right, moving on. So gambling. As student athletes here at Illinois State, you cannot place a wager, which is wagering anything of value, on a sport or a contest that's sponsored by the NCAA. So that means you cannot wager on the Super Bowl or the World Series, the NBA Finals. Um, can't enter into a March Madness pool, the basketball tournament, where there's an entry fee. If it's free to enter, you can do it, but if there's an entry fee into that bracket pool or fantasy league, you cannot enter it. Same goes for high school sports. You cannot place wagers on your old high school team or your little brother's Pee Wee baseball game. You can't do it. So gambling has some pretty stiff penalties. You can lose a year of eligibility if you're involved in any type of gambling. So again, just stay away from it while you're a student athlete. Once you guys graduate and you're out in the world, you can do what you want. Just don't do it while you're a student athlete. All right. One other thing that I have to tell you you cannot do is use tobacco products. Um, Tobacco products are not allowed in our facilities at any time. That is an NCAA rule. So our facilities would include Horton, Redbird Arena, the weight room, your team locker room. It also includes when you're on road trips. Team facilities are considered the team bus, the team hotel, the visiting team dugout at a road game. So if tobacco is something that you use, whether it's cigarettes or snuff or chew, you have to leave it at home. So that's the NCAA rule there. Please help us be good citizens by following that rule. All right, and I am going to hand it off to Travis.
All right, so we're going to switch gears here to eligibility. So how you as student athletes are permitted and able to compete and practice as a member of an ISU sports team. Starting off with academic eligibility, the NCAA breaks it up into various categories or benchmarks for you to hit each semester to be academically eligible. First and foremost is credit hour requirements. As a student athlete, you are required to earn at minimum 6 credit hours per term of your full-time enrollment. So out of a 12 credit hour semester, you must earn at minimum 6 hours to be eligible for the next term. Across the academic year, the magic number is 18 credit hours in a fall and spring term combined will allow you to be eligible for the following academic year. And then additionally, if you are a freshman in your first year of enrollment here at ISU, you will be required to earn 24 credit hours by the time you enroll next fall. So anything you might have taken this summer, plus this fall, this spring, and next summer will go towards meeting the 24-hour requirement. Additionally, in terms of GPA, all students have to earn a 2.0 GPA minimum to remain in good standing at ISU. So that's the very minimum GPA you guys should be looking at achieving. Shouldn't be a problem for any of you academically. Upperclassmen, you may be familiar with the term progress toward degree. We talk about it also each year at this meeting. That is the progress you make towards your intended major or degree program. So you could see here, U College Advisors are listed as a great resource for all of you to utilize in terms of selecting the right courses to maintain your eligibility by making the appropriate progress in your degree. If you're entering your 5th term here at ISU, you'll have to earn at least 40% of your degree. When you, at the completion of this year, you'll be looking to meet at least 60% of your degree. And before the start of your 5th and final year, if you're here that long, you must be at 80% degree completion. If you're on a typical 4-year track, 4-year degree track, then you should have no issues meeting these benchmarks. Switching gears to athletic eligibility, each person viewing this presentation has a 5-year clock as established by the NCAA. That 5-year clock is initiated when a student athlete enrolls in their first term of college, whether that be here at ISU, if you were at a previous junior college or another 4-year institution, your 5-year clock has already been initiated. The NCAA provides each student 4 seasons of eligibility to play within that 5-year time frame. And to utilize a season of eligibility, it takes you entering one single contest. So by being put into a football game for one play, taking one at bat, or entering into one race during a full collegiate season would utilize a season of competition and take away a season of eligibility. So if you ever have any questions about where you stand from an eligibility standpoint, you can always contact our office. We keep record of who is where within their 5-year clock and how many seasons of competition each of you have used from year to year. So we keep that data pretty readily available if you ever have any questions. Next, we'll talk about CARA limits. CARA stands for Countable Athletically Related Activities. These are the hour limitations that the NCAA puts on your participation in your sport. So for those fall sports that will be in season when the school year starts, you're limited to 20 hours per week of countable athletically related activities. That's practice, weight training, and team meetings, things of that nature. You can have up to 4 hours per day of involvement in those activities, and you are required to have 1 day off per week. So 20 hours, 4 hours per day, 6 days per week. At the end of your championship season, whether that ends with a championship or a 3-year conference tournament, you will be provided, or you're required to be provided, 7 days off at the conclusion of this season. So again, while you're in season, you'll have 20 hours of athletically related activities per week. Those of you whose seasons will not start with the beginning of the school year or will start in the spring semester, you'll be considered out of season. And out of season CARA limits are 8 hours per week, and you get an additional day off. So 5 days on, 2 days off when you're out of season, 8 hours per week. That allows you to, catch up with your schoolwork or your lives outside of being student athletes while you're not in the midst of your competition seasons. Last note here, your coaches are required to give all of you at minimum 7 additional days off per academic year to allow for your additional involvement in other areas or in your life or on campus. So we keep track of those your coaches keep track of those and report those to us. So we make sure that you have additional flexibility with the time off from participation in your sport. Touch upon some scholarship issues here. First and foremost, for any of you on a book scholarship, signed to a book scholarship for this academic year, your books will be provided to you by the Alamo 2. We work in coordination with them to make sure that all of the books that are required for your course loads are available to be picked up there. In order to pick up your books, at the Alamo 2, you'll want to bring with you a photo ID, a credit card to put on file for any damaged, lost, or stolen books that may not be returned at the end of a semester, and then additionally, a copy of your course schedule so that they can provide you all of your textbooks. Some information, given that we are in a COVID state right now, may be changing as we inch closer to the start of the school year, so please pay close attention to your ILSTU email for any details on book pickup that might be changing. We do offer textbook reimbursement, which would allow anybody on book scholarship to purchase books from a third-party company such as Amazon Amazon or Chegg. If you prefer to purchase your books in going that route, then you would take your receipt for the book and your course syllabus to prove that it is a required textbook to the business office in Redbird 223 and see Holly Ann Peterson to process that reimbursement. If you come to the compliance office in 309 Horton, we will unfortunately turn you away and have you trudge across to the arena. So remember that textbook reimbursements are in Redbird Arena. Lastly, stipend dates for the upcoming year. If you are an off-campus dweller living in an apartment in and around town, please pay close attention to the dates found at the bottom of the screen. That is when you will be receiving your disbursements for your room and board checks. So I believe that is the second Friday of every month in the fall and the first Friday of every month in the spring. It's important to note that there is no December check provided. So when budgeting for the academic year, please be reminded that you will not receive a check during the holidays. It's just the way our system works, but make sure you keep those dates readily available. I want to touch briefly on employment. Just because you're student athletes and have a very loaded schedule doesn't mean you can't seek employment, but all employment must be reported to the compliance office. So if you are getting a job, have a change of job, worked a job this past summer that you had not reported to our office, please stop up in Horton 309 to get an employment form. We just want to be able to check that any job that you had was given to you fairly, that you're getting paid for the work that you're actually performing and nothing more, and that you're getting the going rate for that job in the area. So we just have to check those few things in regard to your employment before you start to make sure that it meets NCAA legislation. Lastly, we are on Twitter, so we pump out a lot of timely information in regards to some student services or important NCAA information. So please follow us on Redbird Rules, so you stay up to date on all of that information. Otherwise, like I mentioned, we're located in 309 Horton Fieldhouse. If you ever have any NCAA related questions, whether it be eligibility or anything else, please stop by and see us. Additionally, our phone number is there if you need to give us a call.
All right, everyone. We hope you have a great academic year and stay safe. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.